Moni, thank you. Hold on, Moni, right?
Yes.
Moni, Moni, thank you for joining me today on Pop Culture Unplugged.
Thank you for having me.
Exciting times, March 15th, Lifetime. We have taken out a basketball game. How excited are you about this project?
I'm so excited. Like from the moment that we were in so we actually shot in Calgary, um, which was great. So from the moment that we were out there to when we wrapped, I knew it was going to be like something to look out for because we had such like a great cast. So I'm super excited for this.
Mm. We're gonna jump more into the movie in a few minutes. I was doing some research on your career and everything. I like it. You've had an incredible journey, competing for
Mhm.
pageants and different
Yeah.
pageants, going into acting. Tell us a little about your experience. Like how was your experience from going from the pageants and transitioning into acting?
So actually what happened was I thought like acting, no, I thought modeling and pageants was going to be what I did.
Mm,
So I was like set on that. And what happened was in 2016, I was competing in Miss Universe Canada. And one of the pageant sisters was like, you should try background. And I was like,
mm,
I'm not doing background extra work. It's not going to happen for me. I never thought I was good enough to be an actor. And then, so what happened was a year later, I'm like, you know what? Okay, fine. I'll give it a shot.
hmm.
Literally within 2.5 months, I was upgraded on set by FET Brown. She was one of the executive producers on a Disney film that was shooting out in Toronto. It was called Disney Zombie. So she gave me my
Yeah.
very first line. And then through that, I was like, okay, well, why don't I just see what happens? And now I'm here. So it was kind of like, I didn't want to do it, but and then finally I did, and it's become my one of my biggest passions.
Mm. So after like zombies, like what made you go like, let's give it a more try. Let's jump into a few other roles. Guys, we're all here. You've done The Boys, Handmaid Tales, Chucky. Like, tell us about that path that you went through.
So basically what happened was like I was like, let me just see what happens. Like
Yeah.
it can't hurt because modeling and pageants was so competitive, and I was like, okay, acting is probably just as competitive, but let me just see, you know?
Mm.
And so pretty much what happened was I was able to get into the union. And through that, I ended up getting an acting coach. And through that acting coach, I was able to sign with my now agent. I've been with him
Okay.
for so long. But what happened was in the beginning, I had no experience except for this one credit that I attribute to FET Brown. Like it was
Mm.
that one credit that I
Yeah.
had. So pretty much what ended up happening was my agent was like, well, you're gonna have to prove yourself. I give you 6 months. So
Mm.
I took acting classes and nothing was happening. I kept going to auditions, not hearing anything back or hearing no. And I was at around like the 5 month mark. And I called my agent and I was like, Rich, like, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm not booking. Like, and
Yeah.
he's like, I don't know. We're going to have this meeting. And I'm scared that I'm going to be dropped. And literally within 1 week, so it was a week before my birthday, I booked Handmaid's Tale. I
Okay.
booked Umbrella Academy literally within
Wow.
1 week. And I was like, okay, let me just see what happens. Then I booked another movie. I think it was like No Sleep Till Christmas. Then I booked The Bold Type. Then it was just like nonstop. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna continue to feed this and see what happens. It was almost like that initial, like one credit, that one line was the seed. And I was like, let me just continue to feed this
Yeah.
and water it and just see what happens. And it's been blooming, and I'm really
Mm.
happy about
It's
that.
amazing. Was there ever like a backup plan if this didn't work out, what you wanted to do?
No,
No, not even the DIY, making your own closets and making a career out of that.
I never thought to like make money from that. Like I did try like so before I got into acting, I did try like to be like a an influencer back in like
Yeah.
2017. Did not work, wasn't for me. So I was like, you know what? I have nothing to lose, and if this doesn't work out, there's always a 9 to 5. So,
There you go. There
I
you go.
mean, yeah.
So how did the whole taking out the basketball game happen for you? Was it an audition? Somebody you worked with before? You're like, hey, we might have a part for you. How did this happen?
So this was an audition,
Okay.
and this audition was so initially it was written a certain way
Okay.
through like like all of the stuff that happens in pre-production, things changed, but it was written a certain way. And I just had this feeling like lean into it, just
Mhm.
lean into the character. And so I did the self-tape with my friend Maddie. She works at like a self-tape studio. And she kept just saying, just like push it a bit further, just have fun with it, see what happens, right?
Uh,
And because usually I'm a bit more reserved, because with film and TV, you have to be very careful to not like kind of overact
okay.
because theater is different. Theater, you use your entire body. Film, TV, it's just literally this. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use my body. I'm going to feel it. I'm just going to feel the character, feel what emotion she would be feeling in that moment. And it worked
Mm.
because I ended up booking it. And it was interesting. When I got the call, I had actually told my agent a couple days prior, like, stop all the auditions. Like, I need to take a break. I don't know if acting is for me anymore. And he's like, okay, like, no worries. And it was really like this felt like a gift because I felt like what is meant for you will find you. Because I
Mhm.
wasn't accepting any more auditions at that point, and I was just like trying to figure out what I was going to do. And my agent calls me like, okay, Moni, I know you don't want an audition, but how about a booking? And I was like, what?
Uh,
And he's like, you booked it. And then yeah, it's been great. And it
mm.
was truly a blessing to be able to work on this production.
What was the breakdown for Splendid? How did you prepare to play this character?
So thankfully, I had my acting coach with me to prepare. So basically, with Splendid, because of her rough upbringing and because of what her occupation was, I had to essentially create two different personalities, two
Mhm.
different characters, because there's the person who was wounded as a
Yeah,
child, her true self, like she's into plants, she has her own like way of life. But and then
yeah,
there's this persona that she had to be. So I wanted to be very careful and respectful of how some sex workers operate. So a lot of them do have this fake persona. It's like putting on a mask for work.
yeah.
And then there's your true self. So I wanted to try and really establish that um, at the beginning. Like there's Splendid, and then throughout the movie, I want you to meet a little bit of who she truly is. So
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
was trying to do that. I hope I answered your question,
yeah,
but
definitely. Oh, you mentioned, like in the movie, she's helping Wayne, played by DB Woodside, to find his
yeah,
daughter. Like, what aspects of her story and personality do you find more compelling? Like, while you guys are helping each other to try to find her.
I felt like what was compelling was her past, and
Yeah.
I felt like she had such a rough life with her parents and stuff,
Okay.
which will come out in the movie eventually.
Yeah.
Um, but I felt like that's why she was so drawn to try and help um, Wayne in the movie because not only did she look at him as a father figure,
Yeah.
but she was able to see what like love for your daughter looks like because she saw that through how he loved his daughter so much and how he really wanted to find her, how he really wanted to save her. And I felt like a part of that was healing for her. So I found that dynamic to be very interesting. And I made sure that I tried to explore that as much as I could.
I read somewhere the film is inspired by a true story.
Yeah.
Is your character based off somebody? Was this just added in? Did you have, well,
I read the article. So what happened was we
okay.
didn't actually know until Claire. So Claire was playing Robin and she was like, "Hey, did you guys know this?" In our group chat.
Uh,
And we read it and it was like first of all, my heart goes out to that girl. Like that must have been extremely traumatizing, but I don't think, like, from what I read in the article, I don't think that my character, like, was from real life. I'm not 100%
mm,
certain, though, so please don't quote me.
yeah,
But I still wanted to, like, after finding that information out, I still wanted to give as much respect as possible to the actual story,
mm.
in any way that I could have.
Did you find that easier now because you weren't based off somebody that you could play this character the way that you wanted to mold them?
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
find that very easy to try and like mimic someone who's like
Right.
alive and breathing is really hard.
Yeah.
I want to get to that point, but it was a bit more like I felt a bit more free in how I would play Splendid
Mm,
because in my mind, while shooting, she wasn't based off of the actual,
yeah. Mm.
yeah.
How was it working alongside DB Woodside? Any favorite moments or something you learned from him?
Um, I learned a lot from him. He's amazing. I didn't realize that I watched him growing up, so he was actually in the Temptations movie, and I
Okay.
like the most famous scene from that. He's literally right there. I didn't even realize that. He's great. Honestly, he's great. He has so much knowledge to give. Like he's definitely helped me with the role. He helped me with what direction he thinks that Splendid should go in. Um, he was amazing, and he did give me some advice. He was like, and one of the pieces of advice was that I should do theater because I would
Mm,
understand the craft a bit more. And
yeah.
he's right. Like if you look at all of like these amazing actors, a lot of them do have a theater background. And I think it is something that I'll eventually explore. I'm just a bit nervous about it, but he was honestly amazing. He was a dream to work with.
Mm. So the movie tackles like a lot of like serious themes, real life stuff. Like, what message do you hope like the audience gets out of this when they tune in?
I honestly hope that they realize how easily these things happen,
Mm,
and it can happen to anyone at any time. And of course, we want to be trusting of people and we want to see the good in people, but you never really know, and you should always have your guard up a bit. And I just really hope it opens up a conversation about how easily these things happen to young girls, young boys, like middle-aged people, anyone of any age it could happen to at any time of the day. Like it's
uh,
not something that's going to happen at night. Like it's not going to be like someone most of the time in like a hood. Like sometimes it is just like a regular person who can do
mm,
this to you. So I really hope that it opens up that conversation so we can have more of those
mm.
talks.
What's great is like the Lifetime movies, they resonate deeply with a lot of the viewers when they tune in because it's
Yeah.
a real life stories. Like, how would you say this film stands out compared to like others? What's
I
your
think I think it stands out in the sense that it actually like really like puts in your face like how human trafficking can
mm,
be about. Like I think it really shows you like right in your face the impact that it can have, like because you sort of see certain things from Robin's perspective too and what she had to go through and what she had to endure, and it's
yeah,
really just right there for you to see. And I think that it is a bit different from the other movies because like it's so unexpected, and then
yeah,
it shows you the impact that it has on the parents, the impact that it has on like someone like Splendid. Like it shows
yeah.
you different ways that this can kind of like leach into people's lives. And I think it's a good thing that they're discussing this.
Now the big question is, would you jump in more Lifetime movies, Hallmark, expand your thing?
Yes, I've been in quite a few Lifetime movies. One of them actually just premiered yesterday.
Okay.
It was called The Last Woman Who Lived Here, so I was in that Lifetime movie. I've been in quite a bit of them, and I would love to do more. Lifetime's great. Like being on set has been great. Like I literally have no complaints. They treat me so well, and I'm truly blessed, honestly.
Amazing. So we have this on Lifetime March 15th, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. What's next for you now? Any other projects you're allowed to tell us about? You're coming up, working on?
Yes, so I can vaguely tell you that I did a couple episodes in Welcome to Derry, which is going to be on HBO. It's premiering
Okay.
this year. And that's the extent. That's
Yeah.
pretty much what I can say about that.
Amazing. Moni, how can the listeners, the viewers now find your social media keep up with you?
If you just type in Moni.Ogunsuyi, my last name, I will come right up on Instagram. You can
Uh,
follow me.
Amazing. Good luck with the film, and thank you for giving me minutes today. Let's get you back on with the future projects.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for having me. It's been a
Thank,
pleasure.
thank you. So.